Hello my friends, and welcome back to our planned Let's Play of AI the Somnium Files. I'm the FlightlessBird, and this is your story-based gaming channel, and today... I don't know. I'm just saying that, I don't know, like, I don't have any answers. I was talking to Miss, a good friend of mine, and someone that I've shouted out on the channel before. If you remember our Zero Escape video, when I ranked all the characters based on my opinions, I said that she was starting to stream soon. She is actually streaming now, and she's streaming from 4 to 6 Eastern. So if you want to go watch an exceptional person live stream survival type games like No Man's Sky, Stranded for the PS4, she just started playing that. She's played before Conan Exiles and Medieval Dynasty, Among Trees. I don't know if she's going to be playing those on the channel, but those are the type of games that she normally dives into. Go check her out because she's amazing. Back to the point though, which was I was talking to her and I said, you know, I'm so confused by what's going on, but it's a really good game. And she tells me, darling, you'll be confused until the resolution ending. Which, if I read between the lines, that's basically her telling me that I'm going to be confused for the rest of the game. Yeah, that's basically what I think is going to happen. So hopefully we can try to piece together the truth. And note what I said there, try, because I don't think we will, but at least let's make our best efforts at it. Sagan Resonance, Monday. Go see Hitomi.
I apologize for yesterday.
Go hopefully see Iris. I don't see Iris around, at least not at the moment. No worries at all. I'm so glad you came, because if you didn't come, Mizuki would still be in her... I was about to say catatonic state, but that's not the right word. Phonetic state. I know it begins with PH. It's the condition that makes it so she can't talk, whatever that's called. Do we have a definition for that? Hold on, let me see. Oh, by the way, fun thing. So you remember our last Somnium that we went through? Sinking in the villain here. I was told that because we retried the Somnium, we didn't get the item. So even though I got the item the first time, we didn't actually get the item. Thank you so much for Joe Goodman, sorry, for pointing that out to us, because yeah, apparently we did not. Also, welcome aboard, Charlotte Pitt. Just joined the channel. It's good to see you. I don't even know if you're watching this series or another series, but if you ever get to this game or this video and you hear your name get shouted out, go in the comments and say, hey, I'm here. And I would love to hear from you. But yeah, so I need to go back for that item eventually. Let's get to the gameplay, shall we?
I arrived uninvited.
No, I'm grateful. Thanks to you, Mizuki has her voice back.
Exactly. Yep, that's what I just said.
No, I didn't do anything.
You did a lot. Teachers do a lot more than I think people realize. Let's look around the room. Entrance, front door, shelves, shoebox. What am I doing? I'm just looking for new dialogue. And if there is no new dialogue, I'm just breezing through this because we've thoroughly explored Mizuki's, Mizuki? Hitomi. Why did I say Mizuki? Mizuki's our girl. I have thoroughly explored Hitomi's home many times. So we've read all this dialogue before. Microwave, fridge.
Date, a riddle.
Oh dear God, please, not another fridge riddle.
A man-eating alligator lives in a river.
Okay, this sounds different.
There are no bridges or boats. How do you cross?
A man-eating alligator lives in a river. How do you cross? You open the refrigerator door and the elephant comes out and stomps on the alligator and you cross on the elephant like Cannibal crossing the Alps?
Well, let's see. You jump across?
Wrong. The solution is simple. You just swim across.
What about the man-eating alligator?
He's at a convention out of town.
Oh dear God. Oh, that's...
He isn't in the river.
Didn't you just say? A man-eating alligator lives in a river. She did say it was. Oh my god, Aiba! Why do you do this to me? Ah, she got me good though. I will admit, she does have a point, but.
I've been wondering about that picture.
Iris drew it when she was 12.
That's you on the left and Iris in the middle, correct?
Yes,
And who's on the right?
the man I was dating at the time. It was only for 3 months, but
That's
I met him
interesting.
about 6 years ago. Have you been to the Kume Shrine in the Minato district?
So Iris knows Falco very well, apparently, considering she drew a picture of her holding hands with him. Huh.
I was praying there one day, and I heard a voice. Well, more like a groan.
More like me reacting to Aiba's riddle.
Behind the shrine, I saw a man sitting on the ground. He was bleeding badly from his stomach. I took out my phone to call an ambulance, but he grabbed my wrist, and he held me, and then he kissed me. I was shocked, but when I stared into his eyes,
All the dots.
then I heard footsteps, and then a bunch of men yelling. They were looking for him. When the voices and footsteps faded, he let me go. Don't call an ambulance, and don't call the cops. I knew he had to be a criminal, so I took him to an underground clinic I knew.
You took him to a mob doctor?
Renju's friend. I only met him once.
Alright, let's look around. Picture.
Even though we had our first kiss seconds after meeting each other, it took a long time before I got to see him again. The first time we held hands was when we watched a horror movie together.
Which one?
The first time I took his arm was when we went to a haunted house in an amusement park.
Aww.
But I wasn't the one who grabbed him. A zombie jumped out and scared us, and he clung onto my arm.
Yeah, that would be me.
He had that cute side to him, and I was falling in love.
Aww.
Our second kiss was in the car. It's cliche, I know, but we drove around at night, looking at all the lights. We parked our car near a warehouse and kissed. I don't think we ever said I love you,
Those warehouses look familiar.
but we both knew. We were getting closer and closer. I introduced him to Iris about a month after I first met him.
Oh, look how adorable Iris is. With the little cat symbol on her coat. Aww.
Iris never had a father figure in her life before. She warmed up to him immediately and treated him like a real dad. From then on, it was always the three of us together.
Aww.
We would go to the beach, to the river, the zoo, the amusement park. Going to barbecues with another person was a new experience for me and Iris. Everything felt so fresh. Every day was so exciting. Oh, sorry. You asked about the picture.
No. What you were saying was fine.
He wanted to make okonomiyaki one day. He was working with the hot plate. It was ridiculous. He was trying to flip one, and it flew up in the air and landed right on my head. Iris saw the whole thing and laughed and laughed. I hadn't seen her laugh like that in a long time. I was having so much fun that I put an okonomiyaki on their heads too. Plop, plop. I added the bonito flakes and mayo and sauce. At this point, there was no going back.
Oh, that's what's on their head. Those aren't angel halos. Those are onimio. It was
You wanted to make okonomiyaki one day. I was working
okonomiyaki.
with
That's it. Okonomiyaki. I'm not gonna try.
eggs flew, flour going everywhere. The room was not a pretty sight. After our battle, we laughed like crazy. We were rolling around on the floor.
All the dots.
So Iris decided to draw it. It's nostalgic. But
Aww.
those days didn't last. 6 years ago, in November, a man with a gun broke into our house. Fortunately, Iris wasn't home at the time, but my boyfriend was. That's why the gunman came. He wanted to kill him. He wanted to kill him, and he would never stop. He pulled the trigger. I tried to protect him. The bullet hit me, but the police arrived. They were both arrested and incarcerated.
Why was he after your boyfriend?
Oh, that's why her arm is. That's why she has a plate in her arm. I just noticed that.
Before he met me, he committed some terrible crime. I don't know the details, but it was awful. So he became a target for underworld criminals. I don't know exactly why, but I know that he betrayed them in some way.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
I had heard that that incident was a random break-in gone wrong.
Oh. That's not true.
Of course it's not.
I lied about it at the time, because of Mizuki.
Why because of her?
Mizuki is Iris's friend. If she found out, Iris would find out too.
Huh.
I didn't want Iris to know.
Know what?
That I was dating a criminal. He was her father figure. Iris looked up to him. If she found out about his past...
Maybe she would become him? Could this be proof that Iris is taking up the mantle of her father figure? There's a drawing on the wall. Iris drew it when she was 12. Telephone in the corner. Such pretty music. Blooming went to Iris, supposed to be a sign of good news and hope. Got windows. Workbooks. How to handle a monster parent. Wow. Huh. Steam is rising from the tea. Some tea on the coffee table. Sofa. Plant. Any bugs in here, Iba? Pineapples. Pineapples? Oh, it's just a plant. Okay. Speaker system. I think that's everything. Yeah. Maybe the ceiling fan. Did I get that? It's just spinning. We got the light. All right. Let's talk to Hitomi. Hitomi is touching her right shoulder with the left hand. Where's Renju?
Did something happen to him? You asked me that yesterday.
Well, that's weird. Well, that's weird. The game, like, glitched.
Did something happen to him? You asked me that yesterday.
Yeah, the game glitched. Okay. Hey, I love glitches. They're fun. It's good to know that people who make games are still human. There's no point in hiding that. I told her about Renju's disappearance.
Right from the hospital? I'm sorry. I have no idea.
It's Monday. Isn't it a school day?
Today's a holiday. I suppose there's never a day off for a detective. Oh, but you aren't a detective, right?
Technically, yes. But I still deal with crime.
I see. Today is a holiday.
What's the holiday?
You forgot too, didn't you?
About Iris.
I've put Iris through so much. I was 19 and single when she was born. People didn't take kindly to that, but Iris was such a fighter. She always protected me. I remember, one time at the nursery, some of the other mothers were talking about me.
I'm pretty sure she's saying that it wasn't that she was 19 and had Iris, but she was 19 and single and having Iris. Because I could see in Japan, cultures are different, but in Japan there's a heavy emphasis on family, I do believe. Could be wrong, let me know.
Iris ran up to them and said, "Don't talk about my mommy."
Good job, Iris.
I'm supposed to be the mother, but it's Iris who's always protecting me.
What about your parents?
They died when I was 17.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was an orphan, and my relatives lived far away. They might have taken me in, but I was already in my second to last year of high school. It wasn't a good idea for me to move that late. So I decided to stay here, by myself.
And take care of Iris.
Yes. All alone. But Renju would help sometimes.
I swear, a single mother is probably the most powerful person in the world. The things they go through for their children and the way they provide, I just nothing but absolute respect for mothers everywhere. About Iris. And it was Mother's Day just a couple days ago, so celebrate moms, yeah?
It was always just me and her. Vacations, barbecues, zoos, amusement parks. Just me and her. Oh, that reminds me. When Iris was 5, there was a children's theater show in Bloom Park. It was called Milky Moon. It was about girls as magical space rangers and such.
That sounds very much like Sailor Moon, actually. I love Sailor Moon, one of my favorite animes. They're actually making, they're actually shipping over a movie from Japan to America in early June, which I'm really excited for.
She loved singing and dancing. Even as a kid, whenever she heard music, her body would start moving. It was a quirk of hers. And she did it at the show, too. Toward the end, when all the Milky Moon girls were dancing to the ending song, Iris climbed up onto the stage and danced with them.
Aww.
I tried to stop her, of course. I grabbed her arm and tried to get her to sit, but before I knew it, she was up there, dancing. And everyone was so excited. Even I was dancing by the end of it.
All the dots.
When it was over, she had the biggest smile on her face. Mama, you're a good dancer. That's the kind of girl she was.
Always noticing others. About Iris.
Whenever she sees someone playing music on the street, she'll run up and join them, right then and there. Music at the train station, the crosswalk beeping, even at convenience stores. When their little chime played, she would start dancing. It almost got her into trouble once. She was on the jungle gym and a truck drove by. It was playing loud music out the windows. She climbed up to the top and started dancing, but she lost her balance and fell. She fractured her leg pretty badly.
Is that important? Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with her leg now. So I don't think that's a clue about something.
It was on a Sunday, and it was hard to find an open emergency care. I was carrying her on my back, running and running through town. I could still hear her crying. Will I still be able to dance, Mommy? Can I still dance?
Aww.
She cried and cried into my shoulder. It was the only time she ever cried so much. No, that's not true. There was one other time.
Really? What other time? All the dots. Yeah, I'm sorry to ask this, Dots.
6 years ago, I was the victim of a shooting.
Mm-hmm.
After the surgery, Iris came in running. And she was sobbing.
Mommy, don't die! Don't die!
Aww.
Please don't die, Mommy! Don't die!
Aww.
I swore to myself then that I would protect her, no matter what.
I don't blame you. Yeah, exactly. Dots.
Iris is everything to me, more important than my own life.
Summarize for me.
Date, we can't spend time reminiscing. We have to get moving.
Yeah, let's go.
Could be important though. Let's go to Luminous Gate. Like I said, I really want to go to the cold storage warehouse, but one thing at a time, apparently. One step at a time. Monday.
I am so aggro right now.
Hi Iris. Good to see you not dead. It's kind of a weird thing to say to someone.
Who
Hi.
says that?
Why are you angry?
You backed out on your Shovel Forge promise.
I didn't make any promises.
You promised me a date, though.
I did go to your house.
2 minutes before midnight, and you didn't even take me anywhere.
Yeah, because we only had 2 minutes.
We could have gone somewhere. Iturup, Kunashir, Shikotan, Habomai?
Absolutely not.
Then you should have come earlier.
Well,
There's just no winning that day. Don't even try. There is no winning. Plants?
Date, look! It's a Terraphila camellifolia! Look!
I love it when she gets excited about bugs. It makes me happy.
Yay! Yay! Go Terraphila camellifolia!
Jaime gets awfully excited about insects. Yeah, that's so adorable.
It's a Terraphila camellifolia! Look! Yay! Yay! Go Terraphila camellifolia!
She's so cute. A plant. A large window.
I should lose some weight.
I didn't say so fat.
Wow. Did you even say anything at all? Blank monitor, nothing is played on it. Got lots of magazines on the back. Special, how to make good soba. Bring that one home for later.
That's a high table.
Date, I don't understand. You want me to say hi to this table?
That's not what I said.
Hi, table. Vending machine full of drinks. Door. It's probably an office back there.
It's Shinsen-Chatran.
Who's that?
I don't know, I can't really see it from this angle. I think this is the first time we've actually came in from this angle.
Like it? It's called Fisherman Shagging a Common Dandy.
Fisherman shagging? I don't want to know. Because when I hear the word shag, I'm thinking of Austin Powers? Is that right? Yeah, baby. That guy. Alright. I want to talk to Iris, so let's first start by talking to the receptionist. There's a receptionist in behind desk. Oh, no comments about her. So I want to know where Renju is.
I want to too. We've been looking for him. We've been getting so many calls, it's hard to keep up with.
Oh, really? I want to know your measurement. Jesus. Oh, boy.
I'm 5'4".
That is clearly not what you meant.
Oh, what's your type?
Well, I like guys that like New Guinea fruit bats and yellow spotted neck turtles.
Don't forget, guys, she's a reptile.
I cannot even picture that.
Can I have your contact information?
Why?
Well, because it may lead to something in the future.
I don't know.
Date, we're on an investigation.
Watch the Cyclops killer be her. Like, she's secretly the mastermind. She's just playing dumb at this place, but she actually is really, really smart and knows a lot of stuff. And this is just an act.
Just let me have this.
Can I have your contact information?
That's enough. I'll come right out of your eye socket if you don't stop.
I would love to see that. All the dots.
I'm serious. I'm going to pop out.
All the dots. Yes. Oh, something actually happened. I flew out of my left eye and started dancing on the desk. The receptionist immediately faded. Iris saw the whole thing and also faded. And so my story ended. The end. But I couldn't let that happen, so I decided not to ask her for information. I would love to see Iva actually pop out of my eye and just start dancing on the desk and just see them all faint. Oh, that would have been so precious. Oh, those jokes with the receptionist about that day wanting to date her have led to some really funny moments. Hi, Iris. Iris is looking at me. Had the day off?
Off?
Yeah, from school.
Oh, yeah, it's a holiday. So I decided to come to Lemnisgate. We're going to do a recording for a show soon.
Okay, why was your phone off yesterday?
I know you were mad about our date, but why was your phone off?
All the dots.
I couldn't get a hold of you.
Where's Renju?
What about him?
I don't need to hide it. I told her about Renju's disappearance.
A traffic accident? I'm worried.
Any idea where he could have gone?
I'm sorry, no.
Do you know Sosojima, the politician?
I've seen him on TV.
Ever met him?
No.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
I saw your body. Wow, this is the creepiest thing. I mean, considering all the stuff we just told her, It's weird, but this is the creepiest thing we've said today. I saw your body.
Iris, promise you won't laugh, but I saw something at the cold storage warehouse last night.
What?
Your dead body.
All the dots. I asked you not to laugh.
I told you not to laugh.
But come on, Date. I'm alive. I'm right here.
How though?
Look, I can jump around. Woohoo!
How?
Stop, I'm serious. In my dream, I saved you from being killed. And here you are. Which is why I was like that when I went to your house yesterday.
All the dots.
Sorry, there's no point in telling you all this.
No, it's fine. Sorry for laughing. I just didn't know what was up with you.
Huh?
I believe you, Date. Maybe you were in a parallel world or something.
Another bizarre explanation.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time in a Spike Chunsoft game, that's for sure. About the late night visitor.
Last night around 2 a.m., someone visited you. Who was it?
All the dots.
And you left the house as well. Where did you go?
You really want to know?
Uh-huh, I really want to know.
Yes.
And you'd do anything for the answer.
No, but I really want to know.
Yes.
No, Date, don't say that. You fall into her. You have activated her trap card.
All right then. Shovel Forge.
No.
You already agreed, you idiot.
Then go on a date with me.
Again, no.
But you owe me for yesterday.
I told you I couldn't get a hold of you.
Objection. Even if you did get a hold of me, you didn't want to see me anyway, right?
All the dots.
Until you fulfill your promise, I won't tell you anything.
Semis for me.
So, what are we doing?
What do you mean?
For our date, of course.
Go on a date, don't go on a date. Wow, we can actually do this. I'm gonna go ahead and drop a save here. Because normally, in the past, the Somniums were the dividing point. But what if the dividing point is going on a date or not going on a date? So we definitely want to save. That way we can come back and choose the opposite answer. Left is always right. All the dots. All the dots.
Fine.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yay! So you'll play Shovel Forge with me?
I will not.
So we'll go on a date then.
Yes.
Deal. And you have to honor our agreement this time.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, but we can't go right away. I have a recording coming up. I should be done by 3 though.
Tessa, we're starting soon.
Got it! So, Date, meet me back here at 3? If you ditch me, I will be beyond furious. Anyway, bye for now. Peace!
Iris smiled and strolled over to the studio.
There is no point remaining here. Let's get moving.
We didn't find any answers though. To the cold storage warehouse we go. If you're wondering, yes, at the end of this episode, I think I'll go back and load and see what the refusal gets us. With the eyeball in my left eye socket, I walked into the cold storage warehouse. I could see my breath. I looked around, shivering. Nothing seemed changed from last night, though. Anything in the shadows? Nope.
There are numerous cardboard boxes on the shelves. There is nothing abnormal about them.
Shelves packed with cardboard boxes.
Hi, I'm Dramaimon.
Iva, the jokes. You've gotta stop.
An oil drum. It doesn't have any magical pockets, though. I don't get the drum Iman part. But I'm still laughing because she's adorable. If you know what the drum Iman means, let me know.
There are only a few items on the shelf. It is likely that this warehouse isn't in regular use. It's a wooden box. There is nothing inside.
Sure you don't want to do an X-ray vision on it? Like seriously, why don't we use our X-ray vision like all the time? I mean, if we had that power and we're investigating a cold storage warehouse.
The crane on the ceiling. Nothing has changed.
Crane on the ceiling. Forklift
A
A.
forklift. It doesn't seem like it's in use. It was likely just left here.
A forklift. The tires of the forklift and the ground they're on are clearly frozen.
You first arrived here yesterday at 9 p.m. At that time, lying on this workbench was...
Iris's dead body, covered with a white cloth.
But the second time,
The corpse was gone.
it was 11:25 p.m. But the body could not have simply vanished. Crime scene investigation was here before 11:25 p.m.
When did they arrive?
According to the report, 10:30 p.m. after we finished sinking with So.
It took them an hour and a half to get here?
Correct.
Why did it take them so long?
All the dots.
Unknown.
That's interesting.
The report does not specify. Perhaps a result of outside influence.
Outside influence?
Or inside influence.
In any case, there is nothing of note about the bench. Examining it will not reveal any further information.
Like, instead of saying it's So, it could have been Boss. Now watch, it's gonna be
A
Pewter.
switchboard.
I just know it because I'm like so set on Boss, it's gonna be someone else.
Nothing seems out of the ordinary.
Switchboard. And you know what the funny thing is? I probably wouldn't suspect Boss at all if it wasn't for that first ending. That first ending really messed with my head in this game. And I don't really have an answer for it.
Nothing seems out of the ordinary.
No more forklift. We searched the warehouse again, but we didn't find anything useful.
Nothing.
But finding nothing may, in fact, be something.
How so?
What do you mean?
I was just thinking out loud.
All the dots.
Let's get going. Date, your temperature is dropping. At this rate, they might find your body in here.
Well, I still
That
have
machine is used to cut ice.
things to look at.
Do they store ice here?
An ice cream machine. Alright, well, we've looked around this place pretty well. Let's go ahead and check the flow chart to see if there was a branch. No? What a weird picture. It looks like someone is carrying Iris. Date believed that Iris was alive because he stayed in Somnium. I would have found this theory to be ridiculous and insist on finding Shoko Nadami's killer. Find more evidence. Date continues investigation. Alright, so we just did a free roam. Free move. Let's head to the headquarters. I still got some time left. Iterup Island. The largest island in the Kuril Island chain between Japan and Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula. Both countries claim this island as their territory. Because of the delicate situation, I better not write my opinion here. Kunashir Island, an island located at the westernmost end of the Kuril Islands. Shikotan, an island located in the eastern part of the Hobama Archipelago off Hokkaido. Habomai Islands, islands off the eastern shore of Hokkaido and the tip of the Nomura Peninsula. Triangle, not square. To Abyss headquarters. You know, we really didn't find anything at all out today. Then again, we do have a date with Iris later. That might help. Monday at 2:49 p.m. I returned to Abyss headquarters with Iba. I'm pretty sure if you say no to her date, the game will like force you to say yes. We'll find out in a few minutes. I need to talk to the boss. As I entered the room, the boss smiled like she was waiting for me.
I took care of what you asked for.
Number 89?
He's here,
Ooh.
in the interrogation room.
Oh.
I'm on it.
You'll go without me this time. I have some errands to run. One of the higher-ups needs me.
I don't trust that.
I'll have Pewter go to the interrogation with you.
Understood.
Future FlightlessBird here because I ended the video without going back and doing what I said I was gonna do. So I'm just gonna put this somewhere towards the end of the video. And yeah, don't go on a date.
Iris, you're too young for me. I can't be seen with you.
What?
That's not going to convince me that you're old enough when you're crying like a child.
Hey, what are you doing?
Everybody, this awful man, he...
The manipulation is real.
Fine. I'll do whatever you want.
Really?
Yes.
Shovel Forge?
I will not.
So we'll go on a date then.
Yes.
Yay! It's a deal.
Okay, so it's exactly what I thought it would be, which is she basically forces our way into a date regardless. I really would have loved if he said yes to Shovel Forge. That would have been cool. Imagine if they had like a minigame in the game where you could play a Shovel Forge game. A lot of games have that, where they have like games within games that you can play, which is really, really cool. Anyway, back to whenever I'm magically dropping this off at. Hello, Falco. There's a heartbeat.
Let's get started.
Actually, I think I will stop here today because I don't want to get too invested in a new storyline. And if this leads to anything, we can find ourselves in here for like 20 minutes. Anyway, I'm the FlightlessBird. This is your story-based gaming channel. Thank you so much, you guys. I love you so dearly. And I'm sorry for saying we're going to do this and then change my mind, but we're at about 35 minutes. It's a good time to stop. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to playing more of this game. This game is amazing. Really, really incredible. Until next time, so long. Take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you would like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more. Also, please do not forget, you matter. You are brilliant and you are loved. And you should always remember to be true to yourself. Don't let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly feathered flightless bird. Till next time.